Good morning. We start with Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga from the small booklet. From the heart of the Savior of Handi deities of Tushita, on a peak of cloud resembling a clam of extremely white fresh curd, King of Dhamma, omniscient Losandrapa, please come here together with your sons. In the sky before me on a lion throne, lotus and moon, my perfect pure Guru smiles with delight, supreme field of merit for my mind of faith. Please abide for 100 yawns to spread the teachings. Your holy mind has the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech with its excellent explanations is an ear ornament for those of good fortune. Your holy body is radiantly beautiful with glory renowned. To you who are meaningful to see, hear, and remember, I prostrate. Pleasing drinking water, various flowers, fragrant incenses, lice, scented waters, and so forth. Oceans of cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated, I offer to you the supreme field of merit. Whatever non-virtue of body, speech, and mind, especially those opposite to the three vows that I have collected from beginningless time, I confess each and every one with fervent regret from my heart. You strove for much learning and practice in this degenerate age, and made your freedoms and richnesses meaningful. By abandoning the eight worldly concerns, Savior, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. Perfect, pure, holy Gurus, from the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of Dharmakaya, please let fall a rain of profound and extensive Dharma upon the receptacle of those to be subdued, exactly as they need. May whatever virtue I have collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings, and in particular may it cause the essence of perfect pure Losandrapa's teachings to shine forever. Sajipaki Chujigmetok Tramarirablingshi Nidegempadi Sangeshindu Migdewa Hidrokunamdak Shinlachuparsho. By the merits of having offered this mandala to Lama Tsongkhapa and his two sons, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teachings of the victorious one Losandrapa, who had a morality of eminently pure way of life, was courageous in the extensive conduct of the sons of the victorious ones, and accomplished the yoga of two stages of supreme bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. By the force of having fervently requested in this way, hollow beams of white light are emitted from the hearts of the perfect pure Father and Sons, and combining into one, enter my crown. White nectar, the color of milk, flows from the opening of tube of white light, cleansing all my sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, obscurations, and their imprints without exception. My body becomes as pure and clear as crystal. Now we recite 5-line Miktsema 3 times. Migme tsewe te chen chen re zik, drime gyempe wampo jampel yang, dupo malu jonze sawe dak, kanchen gepe tsungen tsongkhapa, losan drape shabla solwade. Migme tsewe te chen chen re zik, drime gyempe wampo jampel yang, Tupo malu jonze saweda kanchen kepe tsungen tsongkhapa losan drape shabla solwade. Migme tsewe terchen chen rezik drime gempe wampo jampelian dupo malu jonze sawedak ganchen kepe tsungen tsongkhapa losan drape shabla solwade.
Sangye chedan tsojin chonum la changche pardo dan gyabsun che dagi cheshe gyebon te dag drolam peche sangjin drubar sho Sangye chedan tsojin chonum la changche pardo dan gyabsun che dagi cheshe gyebon te dagi drolam peche sangjin drubar sho Sanji chedan soji chonum la chancho pardo dan kyabsun dagi chushi ye banda dagi rolambe sanjin drubar sho kangi tukze nizone dawa tamche pambi chere tambi chun denze kodam tela chanze lo shishin kyungon javi lo dhut kesan navi genkyu lekshi su tabi peche lamin zevi tongde tembe tongden la jansel 나무라 얘기는 너는 저 초연다는 미 얘기는 저 군지라는 지점 탐지께도 다기 최대한 또 Good morning everyone. Kerandi yung shobodeli shobodeli 고대. 나서 다들이 먼저 단다 믹스마다 잠베 신주께 알롱지 땡거리스 송반자다 켈렌치바 인스라 간스는 균센로도 카레스 라운디 단다 안간주다 초존디 템비다고 갑질라만 소버무치 아니 다 gompa zoni lo ni masum samaton rogyo mare ani gompa zowa dang jawrum chegi tene kongi yang seju che de ngi lengere ngi tayong sene somba samase anjik yang si nyur tu chege nyushin sonde zechin tandangan ze tu tautun dende ya ta tindi rewas ra
So today, as requested, I'll recite a oral transmission of the Mixima, the brief Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, and chanting the names of Manjushri. The reason behind doing this is that the chief patron of our center, Lama Sobaramchi, passed away 2 years ago. And immediately Lama Sobaramchi entered into parinirvana. His Holiness the Dalai Lama mentioned that it is his responsibility to search for the reincarnation of Lama Tsopa Rinpoche. And not only that, His Holiness composed the prayer for the quick return of Lama Tsopa Rinpoche's reincarnation that we recite on the daily basis.
Teni ina kap tudi ta jawarum chigi ani ta yangsi nyuchung chedo ani jambel senju loma chungwe ni ta jambel senju sago dos kachik peyo re ani tanlen ta da ani nyiwi charang re ani jawarum chigi ta rumbu chigi yangsi di payu nanglo la ya chong yoba ta tenkeba chik song yo re si tenza ta payu nanglo chong yo re payu nanglo chong ba de ta nganzu chik 아니 아니 덴디슈트 고반자 티체도 되니 다 갤럽 참 응원이 아니 장관나무 총가바 쳔비 라민넨주 믹즈마 사야다 아니 잠베 센주 사야다 하장 기침 보임 바지 카페요레스
In the recent time, His Holiness also confirmed that the reincarnation has been reborn somewhere in Nepal. And in order to kind of invite the reincarnation without any hindrances, without any obstacles, His Holiness advised his disciples to recite Mixema, the short version, the Guru Yoga prayer of Lama Tsongkhapa, and the chanting the names of Manjushri.
yes or no tinza ta di gyasa gyatam bata jidan jawarum chi tamji kembari sigiri la nganzu do sang tang bayana ta dipe 남규 아니 라마 소버rum부치 셰 슈비 갑둘라야 아니 잠베센주 도연데 시우지 개침부 난거리 딘난데 달라민넨줄 아니 다 간델 하자만데 믹스마디 다 잡지 라마 소버rum부치 얘기했다 냠링기 님보디 임바다 아니 다 메모그 와시 차요리스
So as advised by His Holiness, of course, he perceives everything. When Lama Tsopa Rinpoche was alive, he also considered chanting the names of Manjushri a very important prayer. And not only that, Mixima, the short version, Guru Yoga prayer of Lama Tsongkhapa, is one of the quintessential practice of Lama Tsopa Rinpoche.
rumbu치 공부 모조 다 다와칙스 응을라 아니 nganzo rumbuchi shengo jebares dharamsala jawarumbuchi sonjuji kaptula kaptudu ani rumbuchi ngala kar song slaundi chi maung balaya ani ganden lajamagi thangachik. You send this picture, can you show here? ganden lajamagi thangachik shango dus rumbuchi nga di song ganden lajamagi thangatianti you talk danda ani 간디 이가 추는디 기부 쇼지 고고도스 기부 쇼지 고고도스 망치야 디 기부 모두 디 기부 쇼 고고도스 날 까드 나송스
And uh, prior to Lama Tsopa Rinpoche's passing into parinirvana, I had the opportunity to meet him in Dharamshala during a teaching by His Holiness. And that during that time, Lama Tsopa Rinpoche told me that now it is quite essential to produce or to create a new Thanga painting of the 100 deities of Tushita, and particularly the kind of the art depicting the Tushita heaven should be in a very elaborated manner. That Thanga paintings that we have right now, they do not depict a very kind of elaborate version of the Tushita heaven, and we should make it even more elaborated.
Teni Tichinda Nibi Damjuk Sumbi Tsengola, Nido Nish Saksamgi, Chinda Sumbi Nalola res, Chinda Sumbi Nalola, Marchlerwa. Teni Pa
Yes.
Romuchi Pa Payula Pep, Payuni Ya Yugi Karsa, Lavdori Tsumri Telia, ah, we, Tsum. Zum sisa tele ya pe rumbuji korang ta chongyo da shigun yo sa tele ya pe ni ani rumbuji tele ya pe teni keranzu sigda ani wiroji na la yores rumbuji di ri gan la ya pe ni rumbuji ani migze ma songge chenpo shu gyon migze ma gyor de yachi te rumbuji ko tsig tama de cha yores rumbuji ko tsig tama de la ya rumbuji migze ma dang cheni ani migze ma 간준 도르드나 라마 Tsongkhapa 라미 nenjo gompa tone rumbuchi kushya yobadi nge dendrijin jegdos tamagi nyen tamadile kyaransu sigda rumbuchi migzima gyor ni rigala migzima gyor ni pewgi yores.
And we met Lama Sabaramchi at Dharamshala in the March 2023. And then after that, Rinpoche went to Nepal, and then he also visited the Tsum area where it is, I think, his birthplace, and also his monastery were also over there. And then during the time, one occasion he kind of visited Hili area, and probably that was his last moment. And you can also see in the video that he was chanting the Miksema, the short version Guru yoga practice of Lama Tsongkhapa, in very loudly. He was chanting and reciting that prayer. So this was probably the last moment of his life. So which indicates that Rinpoche entered into parinirvana by prayer and reciting the by reciting the Guru Yoga Puja of Lama Tsongkhapa.
Lama Tsongkhapa ki lamin nenjo gandan lajebe nangla ya chugu kala chunzin tintikni sabji chuji chaba abdu source. Di tanda chaba di hobdu kala chaba tanda tanya di chundin tere dasara.
So in the 100 deities of Tushita, the Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga prayer, there is a lines which reads that from the kind of water repository of the Dharmakaya, may you bestow the rainfall of Dharma. So right now, since there is a small kind of drizzling and raining, that probably is indicative of that meaning.
Nga dindigi karsa da chik monde do shukchimbo yongin tere wasara.
So I am someone who kind of strongly believes in this science and this science.
Ani odire dinza ta gacha gatamba ngaran zulhomo chungwani gan den hajama den debe lamin nenjo di chi yakpu sa tu bayana ani rumbuchi gi yansi tume ngaran zun dünla ya pevyon ya la tokpa tsawni yo mares rumbuchi gomba kora dires rumbuchi gomba kora jamgolom tsonga ba chimbi temba chedres 다 니 하고 그래서 찬소 하고 말했어. 장무셔봐나. 다 하고 공연 속에다 오늘 지는 라고 그러다 라고요 말았어. 롬보치 그 꽃이 강볼라야 비기 차로 나사 체슈디 댄사 카레스. 장고가 무슨 거 붙이면 송라야 퇴송 로니 체사기 댄사 카레야 롬보치 그 쇼직 배 아니 차로 나요레스.
So therefore, if the disciples of Rinpoche would kind of do a proper Guru Yoga through the Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga prayer, then there is no doubt that his unmistaken reincarnation will be with us soon. And there is even the kind of vision or intent of Rinpoche to continue serve for the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa. For instance, for his entire life, he's dedicated and contributed a lot to support the monastic institutions of Gelugpa tradition, which focuses on the dissemination of the kind of teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa. So therefore, it is even the kind of enlightened intent of Rinpoche to support and to contribute for the flourishing of the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa.
Pena ta densa sum di ta zambaling nangi namba sangi bi ta chu lobjung chesa gi ta tingni di sabshu di chagi yora di tinganzu shengo to ne sheja ba tindi ki marwas tel ya tawa chichin tawa chi gang ya ani shu ni lobnye chigi yores tel ya pecha tingin gi gegen sola ya gyundeng gi chi la sha do de tindi kan yo mares ina lama sobaru mu chi gi dawa dawa la ya ani karso da chi soja da shela chuye de ani pyugiyores tel lama sobaru mu chi gomba la chonro mo de shemba su kan gi chi yo mares lama sobaru mu chi den nang go res ta di ma che bi ta chi dense nang lo la ya ta ani roso mang bu shu ji tang go de ngin din lab de nang su tyo dang mo do asra
And the three principal monastic institutes of Gelugpa tradition and other monastic institutions, they are one of the finest kind of institutes where they impart the Buddha Dharma. They study their philosophy, deep philosophical studies, and there are more than 10,000 monks studying, engaged in the rigorous studies of Buddha's teaching, and there are many also teachers who kind of voluntarily teach the students without any kind of salary as such. However, Lama Soba Rinpoche has started the initiative to offer some kind of remuneration or make an offering to the teachers on the monthly basis. So this the initiative which started by Rinpoche. And not only that, Rinpoche is making huge contributions in many other things which we can't mention all of them here.
teni ta rumbuchi gi ta gomba zo di goben gomba res goben gombi gi tengi zo tele yan jangwa lama tsungka ba chimbi ku peshi ani kamba tokzi chi lala chi yor tindi chi shang yor res ta rumbuchi gi pi gi ta chi ani yana mena di ta chi lama tsungka ba yinba di ani tele teni hako res teni nganzu chozo ka tsamu lola ya nima takpa ani lama choba 장고 lama tsunga ba chimbi lamin nenjo geba lama choba dön goresin kape biye was merwa ngara so ine de ane to da ane tawa kaji jo kunzu hotta bada chin nima tagba zore chame chin nganzu lama choba shogin den gyor wasro romuji gomba di orta
And then the one of the primary monasteries of Lama Sepa Rinpoche is Kopan Monastery in Nepal. And as the main shrine for the monastery, Rinpoche has installed a statue of Lama Tsongkhapa. The main shrine, they've installed the statue of Lama Tsongkhapa, a very huge statue of Lama Tsongkhapa. And he also advised all the Dharma centers to recite Guru Puja, the kind of longer version of Guru Puja prayer of Lama Tsongkhapa. So that also indicates the main practice of Lama Tsopa Rinpoche.
Tinza Rinpoche ki yangsi trimme nganzu ta lak yongya la ya ani gyawa Rinpoche ki mikze ma sakore songya tela ya gopa gyunzen mangpu shu yores. Chidangi kari ina tanchi ani lami nenju kari ina yorin denpa kari ina den yorin doda gyoda chik tenju yongsu sobo yorda ina ya zu ani mikze ma sakore songya tela ya gopa kyabar chenju yores. Di nganzu semla nyago gores ro. Kansa na Rinpoche ki tuk di kaala ani pe kawa chodo. Rinpoche ki tuk gompa nyachik di kaara redo. Tetan dewa yubi ki lami nenjo saa tukbayi na ani yangsing chume nyudu chongyala ya. Da chi ki cheshu di chaga gores da ro.
Um, so, as a prayer for the quick return of the reincarnation of Rinpoche, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has advised his followers and disciples to recite Mikzema, the short version Guru Yoga of Lama Tsongkhapa, and there is a kind of reason and significance for doing that. Although he could have said to recite there are many other sutras and other kind of scriptures to recite. Among all of them, His Holiness advised to recite Mikzema. So there is definitely a significance and reason for that, because that perfectly aligns with the enlightened intent of Rinpoche.
Inza da lama Tsongkhapa karire silaundi. Lama Tsongkhapa jizun jambiya mi number rawachik. Di chaga yores. Jizun jambiya mi number rawade yuk. Ani genlonjik chaga yores. Tuen ngubi nezola jizun jambiya res. Inza jizun jambiya ki tsenga da jizun jambiya mi number rawabigi. Ani lama Tsongkhapa ki tsenga songre chino soba tabayna dili lagaji lama soboru mochila kanya gugu yoba res. Di chedu lama soboru mochi pewi yung res.
And Lama Tsongkhapa himself is the kind of human manifestation of Manjushri in the human form. So therefore, that is also the kind of enlightened intent of Rinpoche to work for the dissemination of the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa. So therefore, if you recite the Mikzema as well as the chanting the names of Manjushri, this will definitely kind of be a perfect prayer for the quick return of Lama Tsopa Rinpoche.
Deza da di chedu dini da ngalaya chida da Mikzema labzi ina gandil hat yaba dindevi Mikzema launching it yamba ina mawe bo sora ji kentong maha songs ra nga rang soso drawa ji yamba ina ngone tani gita Jawa Tsongkhapa ya dokt mebi teba yongin chik Tüda namba kunda Jawa Tsongkhapa mato samlo tanya mengi michi yinsra. Ani digi chik kanchi Jawa Tsongkhapa ki ta hamba jini sheba na ani kosong tuksong ki chinlab yongin ki michi yinsambi ki rotegi yasra. Tüda namba kunda kadi na ani gandan la jaman jibi mikzaman duyanda so uchindan rotengi chik ta dindi chiki piki Jawa Tsongkhapa la ya teba yongin Jawa Tsongkhapa lami nanchu gyundengi kyang dengin ki michi ki and di long de ten shabay na pemba mato ta neba yungu mara sambi toni ngi ani long de tengu yus.
So therefore, I thought it is quite proper to um, provide oral transmission of the Guru Puja, Guru Yoga prayer of Lama Tsongkhapa through the text 100 deities of Tushita Heaven. So I personally am someone who has unwavering faith and devotion towards Lama Tsongkhapa, and someone who is blessed by the enlightened body, speech, and mind of Lama Tsongkhapa. So therefore, I think it's quite proper to offer the oral transmission of these two texts.
Tani kyaranzunga 이제 제다 nge ngogotang mares ro kyaranzu 이제 치마드나 롱 토베 깔카고레스 디코 비게 다 윤제근 로단지레스 윤제기 춘니지레스 롱 토베 규지고라다 롱 토베 규디 비게 냠바sam기 롱 토베세데 깔카고레스 롱 토베생에디 롱 낭에 델라야 이체기 대바치 고요레스 이체기 대바디 규지는 테네 롱드 냠바나 롱드 토버를 롱드 규니다 아니 칠럽그 누바디 랑기 셈레야 주구 용기요레스
And also, as far as the oral transmission is concerned, simply listening to the kind of recitation may not be the perfect way to receiving it. Uh, but on top of that, it's quite important to have kind of devotion towards the teacher who is bestowing the transmission. So when these all conditions are met, then definitely you'll all receive the transmission.
다지단 당에 롤 댄션의 디르데 있는 게 차비 디토니마 아니 간데 라자마데 미즈메 롱 땡고였으라 딩아랑아랑라야 아니 고바치기였으라 차비 에 대치 당아랑 원에 아니 원에 다치 칠럽소르치 쓰기였 나라야 아니 수 강기 제바 마이바 아니 니샤라야 다 니마치라야 니샤라 다 미지기다 샤와 인지레스로 이나 니샤라 샤요레스 다 롱번 디낭로라야 찌땅기 찌차빈 디르지티 아니 찌 달스서다다 미망부 페지징이 키 요마르와스 네 딘디지기다 아니 나라샤라야 디페바디 당이 자와zon가바겠다 젤라브리 삼 나라티 공고레스
In fact, I could also recite the text from memory, but I prefer to do recite through the kind of scripture which I'm holding here right now. And the reason behind this is that I consider this particular text a very precious kind of very precious because I don't know who has kind of put this text in my room. Somebody might have, but I found this text in my residence in my room, and in this country it's very rare to find such scriptures, but I somehow found this text in my residence, and I consider this as a blessing, and therefore I'll do the recitation through this text.
델리아 천낭가요레스 5 colors 디 천낭가 등이 겨울응가 천들려야 곰구요레스
And this text is beautifully decorated with 5 colors, which may signify or indicates the 5 Buddha families.
nga soso gibu sogora do sound soso gibu chagda ra dire ta kanji dele ya di ko ani kyaran zu ta da maji su te na di chi gyaga nang lo la ya din di chabe yores na nga za wani je ma nyos ra di pe tang de shojin dinang ma da ji gande la ja ma da chi lamso namso da lama choba da kanji gyaga zung ka ba gi chi ani song pi kan den de ya ri yong su zo ba di ani di nyam de drikshas 아니 책도서 빼지 깔러 땅서도 땅진 당도 쇼지어다디 당도 쇼지어레스
And I think this text is beautifully kind of kind of arranged with different colors. It's also difficult to find such text in India also, and someone has carefully kind of curated this text uh, by putting different colors and by arranging all the essential recitation and text all together.
terdangi ta ma ni long de pege ton de ngor chans nyero chans nyembi kala ya ani nge ma dembi jati nga pigi kebu thama wa digi chi dai samsam roji zawni ni magons ra ani jaw Tsongkhapa ge pe songus ani yin sambe thoni an charan zo di nyero chis ngara yin ba na jaw Tsongkhapa so niwi ni gomchen da di she ni ma ani chi gandel haja ma sungu nyambi nge ngayena meba di chigres
And then when I do the recitation, I will try to visualize. I'll visualize Lama Tsongkhapa in the center of my heart and visualize that he himself is reciting. And when you also hear me kind of doing chanting or reciting the text, instead of kind of thinking an ordinary being reciting that, but also it's also crucial to visualize you're hearing directly from the Lama Tsongkhapa.
Panden zawe lama rumbuchi dagi nyinga pemin denshu la kadin chimbi goni jezon kusong tuji uro tsadus kusong tuji uro tsadus kusong tuji uro tsadus sor ganden lhajin gongi tukarni rab kar shozar pongri chunzin tsel chugi gyabo kunjen losan cha sedan cheba nindi she sor dungi namkar sindri pedi ting jizon lama jibin zumkarchi dalo tebi sonam shinjodo tenba Geshe keje shu sor Shijin kyongon jawe lodru tuk gezan nawe genkyu lekshi song chakbe pergil hamin zebi ku tongdu tembe tönden la chansel iyon choyon hazo medo tang chishim dubin hasi chishim so ngushim yitun choden gyamzon di sonum shinzo kelan chobon bul ganshik tome tönne sabayi lunga yigi megichi yi tang kyabar domba sumgi mintun chok nyingnin gyoba chakbe soso shak nyingmi töndu mantu dribla zun Chöge bambi tanju tönyo che gompa kyoge labchin zebala dasha samba tabi yirango jizon lama tamba kenongi chögu kalan kenzi chunzin tik chedaran sambi dushin zimala sabji chögi chaba abdu sor namda öza inli shingbayi sonju kolan channu mangayang tamal nangu tuku rabani sindi pardu munu tembar shuk dagi chingi sabi gewandi tendan droga konla kampentang Kyabar jizon losan chakbayi tenbi nyingbo rindu sashi shok. Ngayi lama losan chakbayi ganden nisum dewa chanla sok. Tabi shingam kana shuk jang rong dakson korgi tomar kyabar shok. Panden tsawi lama rumbuchi dagi nyingar pemi tenshu la kadin chenbi goni jizon te kusung tugi ngurub sardu sol. Mime tsawi delchen chenri sik chemen kimbi ombun jambi yang dobon malun jomza samwe dak kanjin kimbi tsugin Tsongkhapa losan chakbi shabla sorwan dev. Mingme tsewi delchen chenri sik chemen kimbi ombun jambel yang dobon malun jomza samwe dak kanjin kimbi tsugin Tsongkhapa losan chakbi shabla sorwan dev. Mingme tsewi delchen chenri sik chemen kimbi ombun jambel yang dobon malun jomza samwe dak kanjin kimbi tsugin Tsongkhapa losan chakbi shabla sorwan dev. Tserab kundu gyawa Tsongkhapi tekchok shinyi ngosun zebin tu gyarwe ngabe lamsan tinyele kechik tsamya dobar makyurchik tsudum tsangshin mamdu tueba tang chansum jongdan tajo tsangwa sok losan gyawa nipi tenpa la sele mebi namtar kyongwar shok utita titus tubari sirwa teni keranzoy na tuida namba kundu chik chona ganden lagya mandiri miksima chik duen tubayi na 아닌 데다 치마 탐지기 렉소 탐직 싸워 뒤축 투그레스 갸차 갸담바레스
So with this, we have completed the oral transmission of Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga. And if you could recite this text on the daily basis and do the Guru Yoga prayer, um, this will definitely set the foundation for all the goodness and excellence in this life and after.
Tadini jambel senju go long du go ma zu go nge gi lam zu go long ji teng gi ta khan zeng nga za long shu gi ban za ani ngi lam zu go long ji teng ni tra so sra khan zeng nga dang gong dan shu gi re dan shu gi chu zu sum ba yu si ji la ya ta nga za nang za yi zar wa an khan zu nga le ji che yong ji pen do yi ngi da cha za da zu ma za ni me sra choki chuzu sumpa yu sila ya ani nge chi ta Lama Geshe trawa mangbu yasa jila ya nge lamzo namsum ku long chi chin long chi tengu yaba nga malam sewa shiwa chi tansa wa tanda shoki nga wara dinsa temdi rawa chi nga di ani lamzo ku long chi tenyu tra sonsi.
And before I do the transmission of chanting the names of Manjushri, I would like to also do a transmission of three principal aspects of the path, because I wanted to share that this morning, probably around 3 a.m., I had a very vivid dream of me kind of offering the oral transmission of three principal aspects of the path to a large gathering of monks and other disciples. So I consider this as a very auspicious kind of sign, and I thought it would be good to also offer an oral transmission of three principal aspects of the path.
Ani nga ni seba da semna la gazor chi yungura ta ngi lamsa ani lamzo dita sar chi tenba yinsi. An shogi yala ni ya teri ngi long chi tengo ngi lamzo jida long chi ten sha go sampi ta chi dumba dan shogi ni ki deba yinsi ra.
Yes. So when I get up from the sleep, I immediately kind of recite the text one time, and also motivated me to offer oral transmission today here as well.
Teni jidang ge long sa chi dang xie long sa ni yung go res. Xie long di tela ya Geshe yoba ani long yoba chi ni cha go res. Nga malam na la ya ngi chi xie long chi tengu do sra. Ngi di long di ta jawa Tsongkhapa ge ta chenlab yes. Ta nga malam na la ya tingi chana la share chewa na ngi jawa Tsongkhapa ge mal ka sa chenlab ge gyoba yes. Teni shepa di ani sabi lami menga yus nga dindij ngi malong na la ya ta ngi siu shu ji chen de ngi dindij lagu dos ro dindij lagu dos ta shepa tele.
So generally speaking, when we talk about the transmission in general, transmission is of two kinds. The kind of the general transmission and the explanatory transmission. And explanatory transmission usually, it's not simply the recitation of the text, but also the teacher also gives and some explanation on the critical points that appears. So there are two different transmissions. And if I were to share what I kind of, what share my dream, I was kind of telling the audience that as far as the transmission is concerned, I have the blessing of Lama Tsongkhapa, and um, as far as the explanatory transmission is concerned, I have the kind of quintessential instruction of my root guru. That's what I was kind of basically saying in my dream, which I wanted to share here.
Tangi dus deon digi khamba digi chi sur chi la lok megyo do ji sur chi la lo yo ji ani pecha di ta chi da lo la do ga ina ya pecha dus ta on di sela ma sela to chi ina ngi ta ani ji zo la ma nam la chang ze lo si ani chu ju de ma de ni ani sing di dor du chi sing di dor du chi ani ta yung go ra ta ani di ngi sam no lo ya 만데시 야원데 제준 라마세디 식드숨기 아니 장골라마 송거 쳔볼라야 아니 가서 다치 쳐버지비고니 아니 쳐버지비고니 차차와디 추죽 아니 식숨들이야 고셔잡니 아니 데시tun지다 자기도 제준 라마세 제세디 다치 다진 냠지기다 아니 냠네 여봐 간지 장주고 셈기 냠네 여봐디 야 아니 제세고 그래스 준 세와디 아니 하버슨기 기용수 슈비게다 아니 간사질이야 좀바 세디기 미용 그래스 달라마 세디 코나 메바 카레스나 랑기 칸 냠술레니 뇨한테는 젠라 신지 말로바 셰퉁이 딘리질이야 라마 세그레스 아니 자비 라마 때는 딘리지 땡고레스 당이 디스세우 쇼지 당이 디탱고 도스로 어디르다
So, so in my dream, where I was giving the explanatory transmission of the text, I remember that the room or the kind of the hall which I was doing the teaching, one side of the room it was very bright, but other side it was quite dark. So I was struggling to see the text clearly. And I also remember giving some explanations on the first salutation verse of the text. The verse read, I pay homage to the venerable Guru. So this line comes, it could be divided into 3 syllables, Je Tsun Lama. And the first syllable, Je, means someone who has the practice of exchange and equalizing self with others, someone who has perfected the practice of bodhicitta. And the second term, Tsun, has the connotation of someone who has perfected the practice of 3 higher trainings. And the last one, Lama, or the Guru, has the connotation of someone who is supreme and supreme and culminated one's own practice, someone who teaches based on one's own practice and experience. So I vividly remember explaining this in my dream.
대다들이 물론 용연디 지단게 얌참부스 게 말했다 지 소소가 지 마투 만전 남도 되다 남바콘데 단 장관람 zon거 친구 고송 투송이다 연댕이 돌아 상당히 거라서 데마스지 마도 만전나 제롬지 송진 된대가서 고디 콤디 쳔온디 아니 콤바디 만남 순절라 용야지 용거여라서 디지 미세 나 미세 카야 디마레스 이네 딘지 어디다
So for those who always try to familiarize oneself with the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa and dedicated the entire time kind of studying and teaching the works of Lama Tsongkhapa, it is not kind of unusual to have such dreams. So anyway, with that note, I'll now start the transmission.
지존 라만 남라 창zel로 야비 송르 군지 님비테 야세 당반 남지 ngabillam 게덴 탄도 남지 중고데 제들 뉴진 다기 셰버차 간다스비 데라 마차시 단조 되에 자신 좀바이 야바지비 람라 이도비 게덴 대다 담이 이기년 남다 인좀 메바 선소이 덴데 되니 시비 타멜라 셀라 깜바 이견 루젠남 군니 친시 토망 인좀 짤 단조 니가 셀라 롬메바 일라콤비 쳔딘 한시도 렌데 물론 코유 동안남 양양성의 치민 한시도 대들 공병 코유 분조라 이미 끼치점야 메지시 인생권도 타르바 되니로 존나 대증 인종 개발라 인종 대야 남다 생기기 선바면나 라메 장주기 풍조 대위 규름 민규위 론덴 남지 장주 sem조기 슈다 추우지 균균케 도갈레긴 청와 담배담 당전 짜지 타외 부수수 마르문베 마친꾼는 탐 메메스와 계신께워로 동을숨기 균체메반날 내감 든든 규리 만남기 ngansul samne senjo kebanze neluk dobe sheremedena ngenjon chanju semla komje kya sigbisawa chebar minupe deshe tendri dobe tablambe ganshin konde chuno tamji ki gyunre nawya loa mentonshe migbi deso kanyi kunshipa ten sangi gibe lamla shu nawa tendre lowa meba tang tongba kenlen trawe kowa ni chisik soso nawa tesik tu dadong tumbi gomba toba me namshik renjo meba chik jertu tendre mulun tongwa tsamni ni ngishi yugin zintang kun jikna tesi tawe cheba zoba la yanyan nami yonta serwa tang tongbi menta seshin tongba ni gyodan devar chawe tsurshina tanzin tawe chobor mingyuru Tedar lamji zo namsum ki nenam rangi chishin tobi tse enba tendi zongri tobgi ni tengin doma nyudu drupshik po serab kundu gyawa Tsongkhapa tekchok shini ngusun zebin tu gyarwe ngabe lamzan tingi la kechik zamya dobar ma gyurchik chupa yin sirwa tadini nge jambi tsunji gu longdi tengu yin peshi kama chonga nishun godro gire tudin kera Made na digo kir. And this
I'm
something
not
I'm sadora. Kache.
not digging. So with this, we have completed the oral transmission of the three principal aspects of the path. And now we will start the transmission of chanting the names of Manjushri.
Jambal Senju Shuso, Jagarkedo, I am Manzu Shir, Namasamgete, Pegedo, Pavan Jambal, Ginsayan Tower Job, and Jambal Junu, Kivala Chanzelo. Then a Pandan Doji and Dogondova, Namjicho, Pawanjik, then soon Doji on Ju San Miguel. Pema Cabo Gendrije, Pema Gendi Shanga, Rangilagi Dojicho, Yanda Yandu Soja, Tuni River Delaso. Lana Dojin Tayeba, Pawan Dugandoa, Jixuron, the Pejin Dojitsu Moranto, Rangilagi Soja, Ninji Chetan Sheratan, Tabjin to the Chevin Chogago Rami Sambachi. Travel Lugi Zondemba Sanjin Chili Chebingu. Ludunondan Henju to Tisheba Jomden to Zosangila Chanzani, Temon Javar Chenin, Jangan to the Gesso, Tabda Dalam Hemba, the Dadon Dala Tuzi, Gunter Unzopi, Chanjin, the Dadon, the Nimupin, the same to she. Machine Dam to Chima, Sumjan Kolam Hembata, Lamin Driver Toshi Zobi Sanji Jomdendi, Drove Lama Tembo Tamzichambo Teninki. Ombo Samba Kenjoki Jomdendi Yishiku, Sudur Chambo Sigida Yishiku de Ranjoma. Jambal Yishi Sembai Mini and the Jobi Chok. Tensub Tene Geshe, Tenchin Sume Rabshewa, Toma Pardan Tagiwa, Devi Sanji Namji Song, Mao Namji Songjula, Dadanjo Zosanji, Yanda Yando Sombakan, Gyuchin Gundur Tavale, Dojin Chanja Sanganchi, Pame Namji Kashindu, Longa Kanla Shedusol, Gombo Zosan Yegunji, Sanjin Dagurchir, Nebanjongi Pardon de. Dag Samba Temboson, Nimu Malu Savatan, Meshimalu Pambisher, Sambi Kapa Chishintu, Sumjan Namla Shebatsel, Samalana Dorji, Tishishala Tegetu, Son Temu Jarjeti, Ludunin Jangandu, Teni Jumde Shajatu, Sobisanji Kaninchok, Nijishani Jazama, Rinshan Yamba Janzidi, Jiden Sombon Hansichin, Duji Danum Dujeba, Sumjanam Jingansusum, Jomar Chibin Zum Teni, Sambi Son Nyembaye, Jigden Sombo Gongandi, Lana Doji Tobuchi, Samalan Larsomba, Hinjichida Dengirbi, Drolan Pembi Tunduk, Yishi Lujan Jambelgi, Minjabin Tunchewa, Tabar Change Dixerwa, Nali Yamba Zumbani, Lesopanden Dojin Chang. Lana Doji Kyoleso, Sami Dabo Tishiringi, Kyola Lever, Tempercha, Kyoni Zichi Yigin, Jomden Ten Lexi Sol, Ten Jomde Shajatu, Sanga Ringa Tamjetan, Sanga Ringa Changwiri, Risulan number 6, Jigden Dibiri, Jigden Hansher Rinjentang, Chaja Chimbi Rinchotan, Rinchen Sudo Cherzini, Sigi Dabo Suje, Sanga Jabo Trudenshi, Nisumeban Jonganda, Megi Chujin Disomba, Sudur Hidi, Gyanam Mudi, Ram, Budanam, Taya Bawatinam, Om Banzer, Tikatu, Kenzi, Sata, Janjana, Mahadi, Jana Kaya Wanginda, Wangishara, Arapaza Nayadi Nama, Dedar Sanji Chomdendi, Zobi Sanji, Alichon, Ani in Rukunji Chok, Tunjin Yigi Tambayin, Konin Jonga Kiwame, Sigdu Joba Pambadi, Joba Kunji Yuchok, Sigur of the Savarchi, Choba Chembon Dojachi, Sunjantamji Gavarchi, Choba Chembo Shadanchi, Numukunji Tachiwa, Choba Chembo Temuchi, Temulo de Temusel, Choba Chembo Trovachi, Trova Chembo Dachiwa, Choba Chembo Chavachi, Chavatamji Severchi, Deva Chembo Devachi, Gawa Chembo Guchiwa, zuchi lujen chewadi kado chije lumbochi miyan chije yachiwa kingor chimbo yambayin sherum chunjin chawadi nimu chaju chewincho chakchin nyenda chimbo di nama chimbo sawachi keba gyundri chimbo tundruba gyundri chimbo gawiga gyundri chimbo mingchuchi jenda chimbo zowadi sutum chimbo changyucho zojin chimbo tenboyin zongri chimbo towayi samden chimbo tenzini sherum chimbo lujanwa tobo chila tabjiwa mulungyi shi gyangzudi jamjen rangjen paudumi hinji chimbo loyinchok sherum chimbo lochende keba chimbo tabjiwa gyundri chimbo topda den shukjen gyogba chimbo di zonri chenpo chedaba, topchen paru nimbapo, sikbi roban zhombo chenpon zhom, tikchen dojin chenpo chen, tabo chenpo tashu chi, jik chen jikbar chebapo, gompo rinjo chenpo di, lama sanga chewi chok, teba chenpi tsulani, teba chenpi tsulki chok, sangi nambar nanze di, toba chenpo tupchen di, sanga tsujen le zhongwa, sanga tsujen danyi chi, paru chunju toba di, paru chenpo chulani, paru chunju taba di, paru chenpo chuyu tsul, gombo sabji onju di, sabjolani nebapo, sheju namda danyi chi, sheju namda chamapo, namba chubu tenju ten, tongwa topji kepe da, kungi tenlu malu chi, namju onden chewapo, toma meba drume da, deshin ninda tabi da, denpa mashin tsingmingyur, cheke mawa deshin chi, nisu meda nime den, yanda tala, nambar ni, dame singi dadan di, mudik rida nganjik che, kundun rawi tenyu top, deshin shebi yigdan gyawa dhanam nambalgi, kolo gyawa tobuji, tsogi lhubin tsogi chok, tsogji tsogda wanda den, tuchen cheban zimba di, tsulchen yengi timun jok, tsikji tsikda mankiba, tsikla wangwa tsingtayi, tsikden badan denbarma, denba shinu denbapo, chirmu doba chirmu, denba rangi sebi tsu, ninjon hazo lejongwa, jongwa chimbo gyujigbo, gyalong rajong sabase, dosha trewe ombo tul, deba nibin jingme to sewan gyuwi nyoba me, rikba tangni kangba den, tishin jikden, rikbin chok, dagi minzin, ngar minzin, denba nigi tsola ne, kowe parun tarsumba, chawa cheba kesal ne, chiban bashi ngisarwa, sherim chonja namjomba, tamchu chugi sawa den, jikden nangwa chebin chok, chugi wangshu chugi gel, lebi lamnu denba po, Dendrup samban drupadi, kundu toba tamjepang, nambar meto imse, chunyan tamba semeshi, sonum demba sonum so, ishi jonichi, ishi demba yumeshi, chonyi zonu sababo, demba kungi namjochen, samden samja loden chok, sosu rang ring moyowa, choki tambo kusumchi, sanji kungi danyechi, kyabda ishi ngayeda, sanji ngada chebinchi, changa chaba mebarchen, sanji tamje kebabo, sanji sebo tambichu, shibi sunju kini me, chelin jongwa seba sel, chikpu santik dorje da kema taban droye da namka lejong ranjongwa sheru ishi mebochi weche nambar nawache ishi namwa lamewa droye marmi ishi dren zikji chenpo wesawa namchok ngada ringa gel sanga gyabo tenjenchi tsukdo chenpo mechong tsuk namki daba nazo den sanji koda ngubo chok Dragon gawe migda den, nazo sujen kebapo, chejen joba tangsongji, riksam chanwa sanganche, tamsi chenpo sanganchi, zoo gongjo sumzumpa, teban chosong tenpopo, tenye shaba nambalgi, zamba chenpo doji shab, doji chagyo shabachi, doji jikshin jikbachi, chuwa gyabo dongruji, mindu lauru topdanti, kangri chewa zikbapo, hala hala dongjepa, shenji shebo geji gel, doji shukjin, jikjepa, doji tabo, doji nyi, kyuntu doji sumbochi, doji lejo doji da, doji nyembon kandrawa, moyo raba chigi jin, lanchen kolon kusu kyun, chakchen haa shidroba, he shidro, jikbarchi, kemo chenmo kejanchi, doji kemo chedroba, doji semba sembachi, doji gyabo dewachi, doji tabo gawachi, doji honde hon shidro, sondu dojin datoba, doji radri malu chot, doji kunchen doji chin, doji, Chikbu yusilwa, dojin bawa mikisan, tayan dojin barwa di, dojin beban bebachi, migeba di dojin mik, lunu dojin babuchi, dojin punu chikbu lu, semu kiba dojin zi, dojin nyingbu baba di, dojin tentok, beldan di, dojin gengi genba di, kejan haa ngiba drog, iki drugba dojin da, jamyan chenpo dachiwa, jikden sumna dachikba, namki talo dadrogba, dadan tenpa namji chok, yanda dame teshenyi, yanda tadi iki me, 동님 마외 경조대 삽자자지 다더버 추기 동대 다전 된 추기 자는 추기 겐데 다오지 미는 양인 대버부 초주 추기 가오지 줌에 주선 당바디 하조 주제 일리기 Zunum Tamjen Namipel, Zunya Malu Chamapo, Somba Mejan Chewata, Kamso Anju Chembodi, Palumshim to Tolani, Tawachimbo Chigito, Jidensum no Junuli, Neden Gebo Giguda, Sumjutan in Senjawa, Dugun Jidesum Nanzi, Jigden Shile Lebendi, Jigden Leben Jibame, Gonjum Jigden Yijuba, Gabno Jaba Laname, Namginta Lonjoba, Tamjin can be Yishicho. Mari Gungi Bumjeba, Sibi Travan Jambopo, Nimu Malu Shijeba, Kobe Janzo Paruchin, Yishi Uncle Jebenchin, Zobe Sanji Gendo Top, Dongar Sunji Dongarshi, Sumsel Tai, Trolsum Top, Drobakon and Gabotol, Counter Yamba Nilani, Nimu Truma Kunlende, Sixum Time Tobopo, Sumjin Kunji Lucembo, Yonden Toja Namji Tut, Nimu Kunle Namtrova, Namki Lamla Ramnepa, Asian Novo Chembochang. 캡다 렌진 군지다 빠송 신진 연바디 bomba 정보 체윈조 제바 숨진 군든지 펜도 숨진 인시바 장이 시신 뒤질라 캡다 당시 담직된 뒤시 숨진 원보시 넘도 숨랑 개바보 용된 대신 용대시 조시 다시 다신주 다시 군지 다시바 답이 다시 현다지 군진 정보 가든지 가지로모 첨부디 꾸디른도 보송소 초두가베 다된 빨 초된 취진 주어디 캡지 담바 캡수에 지된 라디 rabgicho jigba malu sewabu supu pupu 장로진 라바 문자 쮸빈 톡 동가 주부 ngadandin supu ngaba medo 톡 동부 두주 첨보와 상보 주부 두주초 까두 다시 까두지 짠에 담보 공원담 장스 상보 상보시 양년 대번 상보톱 조와 탈번 남르르 남르시와 시와니 양년디시 양년디 레버 양년 대다니 대도 세와 타기와 차를 룰린 대바보 통바 매바 빼매바 멍엄마나 사지민 민규 콘도 차바보 차시 삼미 사변tel 두밀dunde tamame nyeba pamba gemeba shundu seba sebida konshikuri tambapo number 12 chunyindi yishini sunjanwa number tomar hungindu tisum sanji lejeba sanji toman tamame tambu sanji gemeba yishi miji tamame yishi lujin tejinchi mi 세계 원중 마와지 마외진 좀 마외지 마외 담바 초기니 마외 생기 총범에 공도 따와 초도가 세진 정화 땅나도 외선 바와 베진부 라나웬버 나와보 멤버 진조 조디 송은진바 라나메 메나마르 좀비신 내도 쪽이 다치와 누군지된 숨긴초 반된 교거를 낀거지 초주 남긴 타두바 최기 견zel 레버준 라나도지 양바디 잠든 인지 낀걸 젠 반된 뺨마 kergida 캡다 첨부 린친두 산지 군지 시제지 산지 군지 군창와 산지 군지 능조지 산지 군지 땜바직 도지른 chen onkorpel rinchen kunda onjudi jiden onju kunjida doje chanwa kunjiji sanji kunji tuji wa sanji kunji tulani sanji kunji kuchiwa sanji kunji sonyeyin doje nima nawaji doje dawa timewe chadela so chabaji kadon hazon barwe doje giron zosanji sanjin drovi chunzenpa panden sanji pemaji kunjin yishin zonzenpa gyabu gyunchen hazonche chewa sanji ringa gel doje nombora che iki choden nambarta teba chimbi dungarchu choncha chimbu doji chu doji samun zina zik doji lodi tenjiri paru chimba kunzoba sanum kunji genda den nambarta ba dangme chu yanda yishi dawe san chonchen gyunchu tawa di gyungun gina dagbu chok doji den malu de yishi kunna malu chang kundu zambi lodi zan sayi nyimbu rowan zin sanji kunji nyimbu chi tribun kolon hazo chang ngubu kunji rangshin chok ngubu kunji rangshin zin Gemi chuden hazoden chugungon nichangwa sherb chimbo gejila chugun kundu chubanchi chugungon bor tobadi tombo lonjo chungwinta moyo rabdu tameda sobe sanji chanjumchang sanji kunji ngonsomba ishi meje we rabsar dobi tundu tambadi ngonson tamja namjongwa gombo sumjin kunji chok sumjan tamja rabduche nyumu yudu chikpalwa mishi daye tebanchok loden genchen beldandin tembu mudu zungchangwa lagba jabo kunjujin gompi topji karcheba panden laba gyakanla namka chabar karcheba sayi kingol shi kyun kamba yajin tingino kantik semi kyungi kyang chambi yusa tseninin tenchik nime chugi ten dambi ten jibame mazo namri zundonchen semda namshi gyundande ngonden malu namlaga tongba nyinga decha lo sikbin decha sokpamba siksum gawa chenpote tinggar taba shindu kar wezan tongki dawewe nimanchagi 기다지 세미위니 셰체르말 제빈 zambu 통기지 장초 통과 첨부장 노부 첨부 외착벨 상기 주비 겐다데 직된 감격 군겨봐 준주 감비 톱첸된 대니 대바 첨부장 템버지부 땡zen길 장주 양라 메도부 대신시비 연된주 남기 양라 gen주리 양다 상기 람리바 숨전골라 시체 착 남카타로 차범메 숨진군지 예라주 숨진군지 이던주 숨진군지 원den시 숨진군지 인초보 원봉아든 딩이시 남다 봉봉안자와 니종군지 탈라니 니버는 종와 꼴랑기 니종군지 람라니 니버는 종와 꼰덴바 양라중이 쓰자된 다반 넘버 중니장 내지수지 넘버지 시바제보 또번지 대든 넘버 중니데 대니 넘버 주주리 넘버 니시 장주바 넘버 상기 꾸리초 상기군지 주비고 제바 방면 개바보 깨직 탐정 응벌도 샘기 깨직 된거리 태반하조 탑출기 저유된로 또보고 태바숨진 인종라 태바진긴 제분니 뉴문 감놈 답이다 레긴 감놈 세제바 초장주 꼴레겔 저유 gompa lechongwa nyumu nipa ku nyumu bakcha cheba tenpamba hinji chenpe sherab tab tenyung drobi ten cheba dushu kunji tenpangshe namshu tenang gaba che sumjin kunji yuldante sumjin kunji yiriba sumjin kunji yelane teta semtan tumbar juk sumjin kunji tsumbar che sumjin kunji yigawa choban tashin chubame norba tamche nambapang tensum mebilo tengun yongden sumden da 포몽아도 뒤숨도 깨직 탐제 잘하지 깨직지기 조상기 상기군지 랑신지 르메르디 르긴초 르긴탄도 떠바고 주는 하소군도 된 노르부쳔보 렌젠도 상기군지 도자와 상기창주 라나메 상가레조 이게메 상가쳔보 릭숨바 상가된건 제와보 틀리쳔보 이게메 동바쳔보 이게가 틀리동바 이게주 남바군데 남바메 주주 체제 태련장 양라메비 셀렌데 삼대 시비 쯤무지 삼대 양라 군시시 덴제르던 유리바 덴제르제 류긴초 롱조조고 군지지 주비고디 구인초 상기 주비 균창와 초주주반 하조지 제진조의 된제바 사단 라마라엘라 다야 온볼하면다 지명 온볼하엘라 정신 온주부 스빈공부 레가와 동버지부 드위라 지된 초주 rab라바 추기진다 채워보 장비 괴자 차 체버디 힌지 있는 야레그 셰르브 라든 다주토 니무무시 용오셀 파우 누드라 돈드로와 두진 지바 세버지 두지 뽕는 폼제바 조브 상진 지된데 최원 땡원 차기요 딱도 루무 자위we 고위 제벌 자위초 차저여바 라미랍 지된 송부 검직저 칸들 탐면 넘버네 송직 잠마 다바디 원시 주된 진진주 장주 셈버지 존주 첨분 지된디 셰르파르 침빈타 셰르 긴네 데니톱 다릭 제릭 탐제바 꼴은 펜비 간산초 배자 꼴린 데바디 셰다 시자 다본초 조추기 진다디 차제시비 된된바 로이니고 니긴초 닌종 송부 전음기 된게 담바 남다벨 지된 숨나 계산치 밴딘 조와 군제바 잠박 발단 데미초 최진 도지 촉현도 양단 탄규 켜런도 동일 레준 켜런도 산지 레준 켜런도 산지 잡아 켜런도 산진도라 창전도 산지 제바 켜런도 산지로라 창전도 산진좀바 켜런도 산지시라 창전도 산지송이 켜런도 산지투라 창전도 매바 레준 켜런도 산지 종화 켜런도 남가 레준 켜런도 이시 레준 켜런도 윤주자와 켜런도 산지로도 켜런도 탐지 켜런도 이시군이 켜런도 사바다마 아바와 사바와 부슈디 벤저 따디 파르슈다 사바다마 야두타 사바타단가단 야나 까야 만주슈리 파르슈다 담타이타 하 사바타단 사바타탄가다 신다야 하라 홍시 방가와나 야나미드 왕기샤라 마하파자 사바다만 강가나 암말라 수파르슈다 다마다둔 야나 ga ha a tene panden doje chi ga shingu ni temuje gombo chomden tejen shi zosan ge la changzen ni tene gombo samyu da lana doje chu gel na zo jan da hinju do sangdu ni ni singdu so gombo da ja yerango leso leso leberso namdun driven sangwai rohong go men nang da ni da ja yang da zo ba yi chanchu tebi tenjin ze gyundru travi sut temba den namda lebi lam sabjen yang la jache di tenjin röwe tenjeba sangi namgi yuldini zobi sangi kungi she chomden den jambal yishi sembi tendambe senyanda wa joba chomden de teshin sheba shagya tübe somba zoso finish tat peshe tsar song sira tenjire ta kanji gyundenge da tanji shiba nanjire ta lama sobarum bu chege ani ta tal yana mena gyawa Tsongkhapa di jizun jambi yangi namro res kanji ta chik lamin nenjo ta chik yana mena kyanya di ani gyawa Tsongkhapa lamin nenjo tiri gyawa Tsongkhapa jizun jambi yang mi namba shimba chiri ani gyabja lama sobarum chik yedam ni ani yedam dojin chik shiri yedam dojin chik shiri tiyan ani jizun jambi yang pi ta chik yedam ka namba shenja ba kanji lama yedam chekyong yung su zoba jizun jambi yang la ten tengengi lama di 예, 다 양식 처음에 매바지 간줄라도 용거나 아니 겨울무지 람든 나이 티레스다. 로 아니 제르무지 라미넨 주교야. 아니 주준 잠비 양은 성 주준 아니 잠비 천주 양양 사야 됐다. 하정의 계신부 차기 어레스로
So with this, we have completed the oral transmission of chanting the names of Manjushri. And the most important thing to remember is that Lama Sobaramji always kind of considers the Guru Yoga practice very important, and particularly the Guru Yoga practice of Lama Tsongkhapa. And Lama Tsongkhapa is the manifestation of Manjushri in human form. And not only that, the personal tutelary deity of Lama Sobaramji is the um, um, Bhairava. So basically, if you could kind of pray with the proper Guru Yoga practice, then as we wish, the reincarnation of Lama Supramachi will be with us soon.
당한테 뒤쪽 가면 가시전 단다 간된 하게 마디 수송레 세저레스 다 수송바레스 이 함생부라다 수송바레스 당원니 단니게 다지 로겔이 나올라야 다지 연나 메나디다 저르무치 라미넨주 또얀데레스 라미넨주 다지 피기 다자 체슈 지디 간달하게 마차고레스 이나야 간달하게 마도 원니 단니게 수송바레스에게 탁 쳐버지 혀마레스 이 함생부도 왔으라
And someone who is the follower of Lama Tsongkhapa, of course, the Guru Yoga practice of Lama Tsongkhapa is very crucial, and particularly the text 100 Deities of Tushita Heaven is considered as one of the most sacred texts concerning to the Guru Yoga practice. However, as far as the composer of this particular text is concerned, we do not have a consensus who has written this text.
아니 셰수치라야다 아니 제르무치기다 응올럽 따나와 겐델로 산세티 말다 치기가 갈사 돈나바 세치 돈나바 겐델로 세티 제바레 세기 셰수치기요레스 이난 키바모무지기 대 마레 세치 치기 연구요레스 다 간징이 가르시 딘디지요레스 다 딜로르지기 비기타 티치그레스
Some scholars claims that this particular text was composed by one of the direct disciple of Lama Tsongkhapa by the name Dönapa Gindu Losang, but later scholars also refuted this claim.
다 가서 니마 가시 니마 니스무 증인라데 단단히 유튜브 지 나나라라 지금 간달 하자 마 된거도 얘네 딜라 민스 김문도 이 민스 세다 라마소 티 이기 트네 아니 간달 하자 마스 제바보 안 제르무치스 티도 제르무치 라멘난 저디 제바보 제르무치스 티도스 아니 다 만체 다 페시 ता ngama to yuju mars ta gande la jama ta jeru mu chikin ze insare sam dengin ta michi ki pigla gande la jama jeru mu chikin zersin ko tato kora la sha sha sro ina ngi dip ti kon la tsaw ni ko manyu te manyu je manyu gande la jama jeru mu chikin ze se ko manyu ina nga di thomal deni yi misi kwa da insa mare asam sam rochi gande la jama gi tsikma atyon di pena ani shijin kyongun jawi lorutu kesan nawi gengyur lekshi son tabi peji lamen zebi ko tonde tembe tonden lashan sayagi pe chi ani kusun tuksun gi ta chi yonden jodan da chi pa ani tsik jordan jorasra ani jerumu chi son towa dan jawo shu yores keba tsawni ni yomares
And recently, I saw a kind of a YouTube video of someone chanting the Gandela Jama, the 100 deities of Tushta heaven, and he put the kind of chanting with the text. So the chanting will come with the text, and at the beginning of that, it says the 100 deities of Tushta heaven, Guru Yoga practice of Lama Tsongkhapa, composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. So that's the first time I saw that the Guru Yoga practice of Lama Tsongkhapa was composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. Immediately it was kind of, it somehow was strange, but when we think deeply, it's not entirely impossible, because particularly if we look at the writing style of this particular text, it's really close to the writing style, composition style of Lama Tsongkhapa. And there is one line in this text which praises the exalted quality of Lama Tsongkhapa's body, speech, and mind. Which says that your exalted mind comprehends the entire expanse of phenomena, and your speech is the ornament of all fortunate disciples, and your exalted body shines radiantly to the all fortunate disciples. So this kind of unique style of composition is really kind of, strikingly similar to the writings of Lama Tsongkhapa.
다 직전에 제가 동나스 키 유마르데 트와스 키 유마르스 ngangaran chi yorada dinti chi yong misi kwarewesna tsawani ni remendos ngala penzo ya bu shu chi shayesra kansan dinanglo la ya ganden la jing gongi tuga ne ra go shu zo pundu chu je bu konjin lo za se de che banen de she soro sendi ani lama tsunga ba ya se ma chen tan ya chi tsik de dang da lama tsunga be song mare lama tsunga ba chen de tsik do se lab gres da me man se di lam do ka wores ine del ngeba yo mares ngeba meba kharesna 단다 nganjun 되는데 동년 인지 손도 주고람 체제선제 간지 되는 거 차나be 못 된진 장소라 소원대수 전된 흔도 쇼세디 야व름직 센창자 요레스 그 수송 버렸는 야व름직 송 버렸지
So it is not entirely impossible to say that this Guru Yoga kind of prayer was in fact composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, because there are cases where you might argue that at the beginning of the text, of course, one thing, it is the Guru Yoga practice of Lama Tsongkhapa, and at the beginning of the text, there is the verse to kind of invite Lama Tsongkhapa in the merit field and so on and so forth. So it's quite unlikely Lama Tsongkhapa himself composed these texts, but it is not entirely kind of out of the kind of context because, for example, the praise verse which we recite to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which goes, I pay homage to Tenzin Gyatso, who kind of disseminate the path union of path unifying the emptiness and great compassion. So this particular verse was in fact composed by His Holiness himself.
Tiza lama ta lama samji mejeba tozola ya ane loma samji mejeba yungu yorasra ngone thani gi chi ane dogdo mebi teba yonge damzik tsama yonge loma tsu ngone ya ane lama digi lami nenjo sondu shondi nang yores gyawarumji dus nang bares gyawarumji gi sondu di jatsum naya di ane tanda nimi lama ta hajang tokban thombo kon tishurumchi gi gyawarumchi la ya so tabala teni ane gyawarumchi gi tanda din zebares di gyawarumchi ngos ta somba ta nganzo 다 PT기 라면nenjo di ta longjin trigi yonsu soba ta nganzo tobare di kabdo di yawaronji di sonsonsi. Di nga dora che chaya dindi ji tueba ji tangba na che chaya do samsonsi ki mandos. Kazu tupdo ki chanju samda tomba nila ya. Ani chi kowa da nyamnen chigi yosi. Di sonsonsi kabdo dirwa.
Of course, the great masters, they also have disciples who have unwavering faith and devotion, and sometimes such disciples would request um, the guru to compose a guru yoga practice. So the guru yoga practice which we recite for His Holiness was composed by His Holiness at the behest of a great Nyingma master, Tushi Rinpoche. So at the behest of Tushi Rinpoche, His Holiness composed this verse, and during that time, His Holiness himself mentioned that I did not kind of praise highly of myself, but I put which I think deserve of my practice for the emptiness and compassion.
Tenzi da nganzo mi mangbu chigi da gyawaronji kundu ni domba shuya ri, sanga ka chuya shuya, da chigi ane long shuya, kanji gyawaronba chida ya chigi ngusu chundri yongin chigi inbay na. Ane gyawaronba chigi lami nenjo da tab de shu ti, ane tirendo da tongni yinji sondu jigu lam sege, sikjiya di, da di dengo res. Da dili chinlab chiya ji, da gyawaronba chigi lami nenjo chigi raya yo ma res, da nganzo la. Tinge chigi jambu shiba na tuni tula ya chik tingore tindi saga di kipu peyo, pembu peyo re semla ya. Kyanzu nima chigla ya, ane tongni ninji sondu jigu lam saya tsigdi tingore chi sada, gyacha gyatamba semla tsuwa mandra ji tegres. Gyacha gyat tegres rwa, ane gyawrum jila teba gora ta, teba yobi ton di chik sada, pe yakbo res.
Yes. And for those who are consider themselves as the follower or rather devotees of His Holiness and who would like to recite the Guru Yoga practice of His Holiness, I think this particular verse is the most sacred verse being composed by His Holiness himself, which encompasses the quintessential practice of His Holiness. And with this, if you could recite the verse on the daily basis, definitely it will have huge significance.
Kalasa sholas, ta shago wasir madu kech pe mo wishe yes.
Yes. In fact, I have a lot to say, but since it's the lunch time, I'll stop here.
Final Lamrim prayer. From my 2 types of merits vast space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a grand land of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtues practices, may he always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Pray for the long life of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Incomparably kind and supreme Tenzin Gyatso, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, may you have a long life and all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And pray for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Fearless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now, holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice. You wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss! Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in a glory for fortunate disciples. Thank you very much, Geshela. Thank you for this special session, Genla, and thank you for giving us this transmission. We all are very grateful that we could receive these blessings of Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga and three principal aspects of the path and chanting the names of Noble Manjushri. And next weekend, actually starting on Friday, Geshela is doing Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga retreat. So everyone is welcome to join. It's a 4 days from Friday till Monday. Even if you can come for 1 day, we will be reciting hundreds of mantras of Miksema. And the next month, Geshela will be having a retreat, three principal aspects of the path. So it's actually amazing that this transmission happened today, and that we all receive this blessing for the practice. So thank you so much, Genla, on behalf of all of us. Thank you.